You've probably heard of the 10,000-hour rule, right? It's one of those ideas about success that's just everywhere. But what if it's not the whole story? What if it's actually wrong? Well, in this explainer, we're going to dig into this famous rule and see if it really holds up under pressure. So the rule itself is just so simple, which is probably why we all love it. The idea is that if you want to become a world-class expert in pretty much anything, you've got to put in 10,000 hours of focused practice. The message is loud and clear: start young, practice like crazy, and you'll get there. And for a long, long time, this idea has basically been the formula for how we think about genius. It's a powerful promise, and it's got some incredibly persuasive stories to back it up. I mean, look no further than the poster child for this whole thing, Tiger Woods. His story is like a perfect blueprint. His dad puts a golf club in his hands when he's just 7 months old. By 21, he's the best golfer on the entire planet. It's the ultimate 10,000-hour story. Start super early, practice with insane focus, and you just dominate. And this wasn't just a sports thing. You see the exact same pattern in the world of chess with the Polgar sisters. Their father was so bought into this idea that he basically decided to turn his daughters into chess prodigies, drilling them from day one. And you know what? It worked. 2 of them became grandmasters. So with stories like these, it's really no wonder the rule became so famous. The evidence just seemed undeniable. But here's the thing. Those are just a few very famous stories. What happens when we zoom out and look at the actual data? Well, that's where this beautifully simple story starts to get a lot more complicated. Okay, so let's just stop and think about this for a second. If the 10,000-hour rule is legit, then we should see a really clear pattern when we look at elite athletes. They should all have a huge head start in practice compared to their peers, right? Well, that's exactly what scientists wanted to find out. And this is where the plot completely thickens. At first, the science seems to support the rule. Yeah, elite athletes do spend more time practicing over their whole career. But here is the massive twist. It's all about when they put those hours in. What the research actually shows is that the people who end up at the very top, they usually delay specializing. They have what scientists call a sampling period, where they just try a bunch of different sports and build up a wide range of skills. It's actually their less successful peers who jump into specializing early. And this pattern isn't just in sports. Oh no. Once you start looking for it, you see this dabbler's path to success popping up in all sorts of fields. Just check this out. In music, the top performers often messed around with a couple of instruments before they settled on the one. The only woman to ever win the Fields Medal, the Nobel Prize of Math, Maryam Mirzakhani, she actually wanted to be a novelist. Vincent van Gogh had already failed at 5 different careers before he even thought about drawing in his late 20s. And the binary code that our whole digital world runs on, that came about because Claude Shannon connected an idea from a philosophy class he took to his engineering work. Okay, now let me tell you about another athlete. He played tennis, sure, but he also did skiing and wrestling. His own mom, who was a tennis coach, refused to train him because he just wasn't serious enough about it. So what'd he do? He just kept trying more stuff. Handball, volleyball, soccer, badminton, even skateboarding. He was the definition of a dabbler. So, who is this athlete who seems to have broken every single rule in the 10,000-hour playbook? It's Roger Federer. He's just as dominant as Tiger Woods, but his journey to the top was the polar opposite. See, we all know the Tiger story, that straight line to greatness, but almost nobody talks about the winding, messy Roger path. So how is it possible that 2 completely different journeys can lead to the same incredible level of success? Well, the answer comes down to one key idea. Not all challenges are created equal. To get why both paths can work, we've got to understand the difference between 2 types of learning environments, what some call kind worlds and wicked worlds. So a kind learning environment is a place like golf or chess. The rules are crystal clear and they never ever change. You hit the ball or move a piece and you get instant, accurate feedback on whether it was a good or bad move. In these kinds of predictable worlds, yeah, the 10,000-hour rule and specializing early works like a charm. But then you have wicked learning environments. And this is where the rules of the game might change while you're playing. The goals aren't always clear, and the feedback you get might be late or wrong, or you might not get any at all. Think about trying to build a career, or start a business, or tackle a really complex problem. Which one of those sounds more like the world we actually live in today? This slide really just lays it all out. In a kind world, success is a straight path. You hyper-specialize, and that's your fastest route. But in a wicked world, the path is all over the place. And here, having a wide range of experiences, taking the Roger path is actually the winning strategy. So, what's the big takeaway here? It's this. In the messy, complex, wicked world that most of us operate in, we need more people who take the Roger path. We need more generalists. So, why are these generalists so critical? Because in a complex world, the really huge breakthroughs, the game-changing innovations, they don't always come from digging deeper and deeper in one narrow specialty. A lot of the time, they come from people who can see connections between different fields and build a bridge between them. The story of Junpei Yokoi at Nintendo is just a perfect example. This guy wasn't some hotshot engineer. He was a machine maintenance guy at a company that made playing cards. But he had this broad, outside perspective. He took technology that was common in calculators and combined it with technology from credit cards and created the first handheld video games. That little side project turned a small card company into the Nintendo we know today, and it gave us the Game Boy. That's the power of the generalist. The physicist Freeman Dyson had this absolutely brilliant analogy for this. He said that for any healthy system, whether it's science or just life, you need both birds and frogs. The frogs, they're the specialists. They live down in the mud, and they know everything there is to know about their one little patch of the world, and we absolutely need them. But we also need the birds, the generalists. They're the ones soaring high above, seeing the whole landscape, and connecting all the different pieces of knowledge from all the different frogs to understand the bigger picture. But here's the problem that Dyson pointed out. We need both. But our whole society, our schools, our career paths, it's all designed to create and reward frogs. We are constantly telling everyone to follow the tiger path, specialize early, dig deep, and stay in your lane. And that really brings us to a final and, I think, really important question. In a world that is only getting more complex, more unpredictable, more wicked every single year, are we maybe a little too obsessed with creating specialists? Are we forgetting to nurture the generalists, the birds, the very people who might be the best equipped to solve our biggest, most wicked problems?